Hello everyone and welcome to this month's Learn and Play. We are super excited to show you guys a bunch of different fun activities, or at least STEAM activities that you can do at home with everyday items and your kids that they will hopefully enjoy. We have a couple of really cool ones that I'm super excited to show you. But first, we'll start off with the messy ones, because why not? So what you're gonna need for this one is some paper. We're using cardstock because it is a little bit thicker. Then with the paper, we're gonna need some paint brushes. And then we're gonna need some water. And then we are going to need dirt. Yes, you heard me. I said dirt. We are gonna be painting with mud. So with this, it's gonna be something that you can do with at home, because who doesn't have dirt at home? You can make mud. And you'll be able to mix with textures. The kids will be able to see how fun it is. And it gets them a little bit dirty. Who doesn't like to get dirty? So what you're gonna need is your water, your dirt, and of course, to make mud, you just mix the two together. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour it in our cup, so that way we can make our own mud. We have soil here, so it's gonna be a little bit different than that. But from there, you're just gonna mix it up, make it all muddy, some goopy, get it in there, get it nice and soaked. Then from there, you're gonna paint your own picture on paper. They can create whatever they want. You can give them challenges to paint, or you can just tell them, hey, here's some dirt and here's some water, and have at it. So I mixed it together. Then from there, I'm just gonna paint on my paper. So you can do this, you can even add like earthworm pictures to it and stuff like that, or even look up and teach your little ones about ants, and they can really see where they live. So you're just gonna paint your paper, make whatever you want. You're just gonna paint with mud. You're like, how is this an activity? Well, you're gonna actually learn about the science of how when you mix two compounds together, they make something completely new. When you get dirt and you get water, you make mud. But you could also look and see if you can create different colors of mud. What will happen if you have more dirt and less water? What happens if you add more water and less dirt? Will your colors change? Will your colors stay the same? Will they look different? You never know. So you get to do that. We'll sit there, paint something that will keep your little ones entertained for hopefully quite some time, because how can they not? I mean, it might even turn into finger painting while they're at it, because it's fun to get just a little bit dirty. So once you paint with mud, if you wanted to too, you can even start drawing flowers up top to make it look like the flowers is actually growing out of the dirt, and it gives you a different type of look of texture. It's super easy to do as well. Your kids can do it right along with you, or you can mix everything up for them, and then they could just follow the steps, or they can just do it themselves and have fun.
Trying to make a worm inside a hole.
Alright, so we got that first messy one out the way. Now it's time for our next one. So this one, again, we're just going to need some paper. We're using cardstock because it is a little bit thicker, because we're going to be adding some moisture to our paper. So you're going to need a piece of paper, and then you're going to need a white crayon. So go ahead and grab a white crayon. You know, white crayon. And then with that, what you're going to do is you are going to draw a picture on the paper. I know it's going to be really, really hard to see, but trust it. You could shine it in the light to see what you have drawn, or you can just trust your heart and be like, yep, this is what I drew. But you're gonna have your little ones draw on a piece of paper with a white crayon. So you're gonna fill it in, and while they're filling that in, you guys can play a game and be like, well, can you guess what I'm drawing? Because you can't see it because it's white, and you won't see it until the end result. But trust me, the end result is gonna look so cool. So you're gonna draw on there your awesome picture. If you move it around like this, you'll be able to see what you've drawn, or what you are drawing, in case you lose track of what you have created. So I'm gonna sit there, draw. Brings a lot of mystery into it, but you'll also be working on your little one's finger dexterities because they'll be using their pincher fingers to hold the crayon depending on what size you have. Like our crayons are super small, so we're definitely working with our pincher fingers. So once you have drawn your picture, she's gonna keep working on hers for a little bit. You want to get tissue paper. We cut ours up into little squares. You're gonna get tissue paper. You're gonna wanna place it all over the top of your drawing. And place it in whatever type of pattern you want. It's totally your choice. Place it all over. Be careful if you blow on it, because if you blow on it, you're just gonna make your tissue paper like fly everywhere. So lay it all on the top of that. Top right there. Once it's on top, we'll wait for her to catch up, okay? So once you place that all on there, what you're gonna do now is you can either fill up a spray bottle for your little ones or you can use a dropper, but what we are gonna do is use our fingers. So we're gonna use our fingers. I'm gonna show you how to sprinkle them. So you wanna push them real tight and you wanna spread them open like that, and that will sprinkle water all over your paper. So now we're gonna get their hands wet. I know, I'm over here blowing on my paper, and so I'm gonna get my tissue paper. Go fine. And we're gonna wanna sprinkle water all over our images and get it nice and soaked, because one thing with tissue paper is the colors like to bleed. So once they start to get moist and wet, they'll mix with one another and then it'll bleed, which means it'll go from one spot to the next and it will share its color with another piece of paper. The brighter the tissue paper you have, the more colors you'll use and spread, but we are just gonna use these really cute springy colors. So you're gonna sprinkle it all over. Sprinkle it all over. It gets their hands nice and wet, especially since the weather's starting to warm up here. It'll give you a nice little fun way to play with water and create really cool pictures. So, and we just saw this one the other day, so we're testing this out to let you know, will this work or will it fail? So that's what we're here for. So to make you see, is that Pinterest program or is that Pinterest pin really worth it? I mean, it's getting there. It's soaking. But we might let this sit for a little bit while we go on to our next papers, our activities, so that way it gives it more of a chance to work its way on through. Let it sit and soak a little bit. Or at least I have to let mine sit and soak.
Your little fingers don't carry that much water.
And my big fingers don't carry that much water. So I'm gonna start moving some of mine off, but we're gonna let yours soak a little bit more. So the green one works really, really well with picking up the pictures, colors, versus all the other ones. But if we have brighter tissue paper, you'll see that the color starts to soak into the paper, and then the parts where we colored it white won't get colored. So it's kind of like, you barely see, but it's kind of like how if you only want to color a certain part of an Easter egg and you want to leave some designs like clear, you can draw on it with a white crayon and it won't dye those parts. The same thing in concept happens here. The parts that you don't want color with your tissue paper, you just go ahead and cover with white crayon, and then you'll be set. So we'll let yours stay there and soak, okay? Your fingers are already turning green. Hints of green on your fingers. Alright, so that we have those two activities. They are the messiest ones that we have right now. But from there, what we're going to do next is we are going to do some number matching. So we found this really cute paper where it's called Flower Petal Counting, and it helps your kids work on their numbers. So this one is numbers 8 through 6, and these are 9 through 12. And what you'll want is you can get some beads to match the flowers if you want, or you can use whatever you like. And you're gonna put the amount of beads around the petal that matches, or the flower that matches on the inside. So it helps your kids work on their numbers, but if you have color beads or anything that matches the circle itself, then you can actually have them work on their color recognition as well. So you can tell them grab all the 7 blue beads and put it around the circle. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna count to 7 and we're gonna fill up the petals around the flower.
2, 3, 4, 6.
Right, so now you guys can go over it together and count it again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have 7 petals around our pretty blue flower. So then if you want, you can go to even bigger numbers to help them work on those numbers past the 10. And you can tell them, okay, I need 11 purple petals for my flower. So then they're gonna look across this paper, they're gonna try to see if they can find the number 11. It's the number with 2 1s, and then we're gonna look for purple. So we're gonna try to find some beads that match the inside of that one.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I thought I'd fill the whole flower.
It almost looked like it. So then you're gonna go over that counting again with them just to repeat the numbers and make sure that they did it right and they got them all there, but so that way you guys can do it together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 flowers. And another cool thing about this activity is you can also use this as a tool to teach your little ones about things that look empty and things that look full. Like this one looks a lot more full than this one does, and this one looks like it's more empty than this one. And you can talk about the reason why that is because this one has 11 and this one has 7. So this one has more numbers in it than this one does. So you can even tell them the difference between the two. So like 7, how many does it take to get you from 7 to 11? You can be like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 4 more beads on there on this one than there is on this one. But another added bonus to that too is you can talk about compare and contrast, is that this circle is bigger than this circle, and if that makes a difference on why this one looks more fuller than this one. So it's a really fun activity. We found this one online. We'll share the files with you guys so that way you can try to do this at home, or you can just draw it up yourself because it's really simple. All you have to do is just get a center, numbers, and colors. Really fun, really cool, and really cute. But we're not done with the beads yet because we want to work on your little one's finger dexterity. And I want to say coding, but it's definitely pattern building because math is more than just numbers. There's also patterns, shapes, and sizes and stuff like that that they can work on. So right here is an earthworm coding sheet where you can ask your little one that I need you to copy the pattern that's on this paper of this earthworm. So you're going to need a pipe cleaner. You're going to need some beads relatively close to the colors that it has here. And then you're going to want to build it together. So you're going to look over here and you're going to try to find out the colors that there are on here. So what color is this one?
Green.
And that one.
Pink and orange.
So it's green, pink, and orange. So we're going to grab some green, pink, and orange beads. But we're going to take a look at this and we're going to go through the colors and we're going to see if we notice a pattern on our own. So it goes green, pink, and orange, and then what's the next one?
green, pink, and orange.
And then does that look like it's gonna stay the same?
Yeah.
So now it's gonna stay in the same order all the way through of green, pink, and orange. So then they're gonna build that on to their worm. So they're gonna work on their finger dexterity and their little finger muscles using little pincher fingers to load those beads onto the pipe cleaner itself. So you're gonna fill that all the way, and then you can go through and you can look at the pattern again as well. And you can ask how many times does it go pink, green, and orange. So there's pink, green, and orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does it about 5 times. So we need to do that 5 times on our worm. So go ahead and grab 3 more sets of that color. And then if you have googly eyes or wiggly eyes, you can even put those on to your earthworms to give them a little bit more spunk and a little bit more character and personality. Because who doesn't like wiggly eyes? They're so fun. You can leave your earthworm this longer. You can shorten him up a bit. It's totally your choice. I mean, if you leave it long, you give your kids a chance to wiggle their little earthworm's colored body up and down. But we are going to try to make him a little bit shorter. But I don't want to cut it. So we're going to stuff this. So from there, you can have them hold their little earthworm up to the image that they were trying to copy and see if it's the same or if it's different. Did you know earthworms actually don't have a head or a bottom? So technically, we could put googly eyes on both sides. Ew. So that way, there is no top. And there is no bottom. So he's on here right here. I'll make it bigger for the later, so we're going to put on him later. So then we have our little earthworm, and then we can look at it right here next to our paper, and we can see if our pattern matches the pattern on here. And it does. So we have this cute little earthworm. So that's going to work on coding binary code of the 1s and 0s, but it's going to be translated into something that's really simple for little ones to understand. And it's going to work on their pattern building and their pattern recognition. So now that we have that one, we have one more activity for you guys, which is the loudest one, which is why I saved it for last. So what you're going to need is a paper plate. You could use some beans or some beads, which we're going to use some beads, and you could use popsicle sticks or whatever you want. We got some popsicle sticks, but we might just use the plate. So then you can use a stapler or some tape to close it. So we have some tape right there. What you can do is you're going to fold your plate in half, hot dog style. And you're going to load some beads in there. The more beads you put in there, the more crowded it is. The less loud that it's going to be. The less beads you put in there, the louder it's going to sound. So this, you'll just be creating an instrument with your little ones, everyday items that you have at home. And you guys can make your own DIY home band and instruments. You can make a drum out of, let's say, an oatmeal container and saran wrap. You can make a trumpet. You can do all kinds of stuff. So now you're gonna hold that. So then what you're gonna do from there is you just want to tape your instrument closed. So So we're gonna do this first so that way it stays closed for us. And then you'll just want to go around the sides and seal it up because you don't want your beads or your beans or whatever you decide to use the stuff inside of it to go flying out on you. Flip it around. And that side. This is a two-person job, so unless you want to, you can help your little ones tape it closed, so that way they can show that they're being helpful, they're being your partners and getting something done. And little kids love to know that they can help you you can't finish something without them. So now that that's closed, you can shake it, and you now have a musical instrument. Or you can pat it and turn it into a drum that has some beads in it. So there is that. This is today or this month's Learn and Play. We hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this is stuff that STEM and STEAM activities that you can do at home with your little ones with everyday items around your household. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye!